The Siren, on Widow's Ridge, hasn't had power since 1957. No wires in, no wires out. I checked myself. Twice, with a multimeter, in daylight. It still rings most Tuesdays at 4:14 in the morning, and it always rings the same number of times as the people currently sleeping in Kettle Hollow. Last week, it rang 41 times. The county lists 42 of us left. Nobody's found the missing one yet. You will be looking for them. You'll want gloves for this. Cotton, not leather. The crank sheds metal shavings. The Siren sits at the top of Widow's Ridge, half a mile up the switchback from the old tipple. County pays $240 a month to keep it serviced. Oil the gears, check the horn housing for nests, log the readings. That's the whole job. Sterling Alarm Company built it in 1928 for the Cassidy Vein mine, Model 3, brass horn, 6 feet across. The mine closed in '57. The power lines came down with it. I want you to remember that part, because you'll ask about it later, and I'd rather you heard it from me first. There's no electricity running to that tower. Hasn't been for 60-some years. I still climb up every Tuesday and write down what it did that week. Most weeks it did nothing. Keep the logbook dry. Keep the dates exact. Somebody before me wrote the time to the minute for 40 years, and I don't intend to be the one who breaks the habit. There are 3 rules the county doesn't put in your contract, so I'm putting them in mine. First, if it rings after dark, you do not go up before sunrise, no matter what you hear on the wind. Second, if it rings twice in the same week, call Denny at the county line office before you do anything else, even at 3 in the morning. His number's taped inside the toolbox lid. Third, and I mean this one plainest, if you ever hear it ring your own name in the pattern, and you'll know it when you hear it. It comes through the horn like Morse code made of breath. You pack the truck and drive to Charleston, and you do not come back for the paycheck. I followed all 3 for 6 years. I'm only telling you about the third one because last Tuesday, for the first time, I heard something in the pattern I didn't like. I wrote it in the log. Read that page before your first climb. 43 men went down the Cassidy Vein on the morning of March 9th, 1932. A pocket of methane found a spark from a pickaxe on the 4th level, and the mountain came down on itself in 9 seconds. Recovery crews pulled 39 bodies over the following month. 4 men were never found. The company sealed the shaft in June and called it a mercy. The siren wasn't installed until 1928, meant to warn miners of gas buildup before it killed them. It failed that morning. Somebody rigged it afterward. Nobody agreed on who, so it would ring once for every man still listed missing, every year, on the anniversary. That was the story I got from the warden before me, an old man named Presley, who trained me the way I'm training you, on paper, because he said he didn't trust his voice to get through it without stopping. He was right. Some of it doesn't sound real out loud. The county only asks for weekly readings, but the older logs go back to 1961. Page after page in different handwriting, and somewhere around 1974, the entries stop being about maintenance and start being about counts. Presley's predecessor wrote the number of rings next to the date every time, like it mattered more than the mechanism did. I didn't understand why until my second year, when I cross-referenced ring counts against the county census updates. The siren rang 38 times on the second Tuesday of October 2019. 38 people were living in Kettle Hollow that month, according to Water District billing records I was not supposed to have access to. It rang 37 the following spring. Old Mrs. Petrakis died in February. I stopped thinking it was coincidence around the 4th match. I kept logging anyway. It's the job. There's a night I have to tell you about, even though Rule 1 says don't. 4 winters back it rang after dark, October, around 9, 11 times. 11 residents dead or moved that month seemed impossible, so I told myself the mechanism had jammed. I drove up with a flashlight near 11. The gate was open, though I'd padlocked it myself that morning. The horn wasn't moving, and I want you to hear this exactly. The ringing wasn't coming from the horn at all. It was coming from inside the shaft entrance 40 yards downhill, through the grate the county welded shut in 1958. 11 rings evenly spaced, then a quieter 12th ring, half a beat, like something correcting a mistake. I did not go check the grate. I went home and did not sleep and did not tell Denny. I'm only writing it down because you're the one keeping count now, and counts need honesty behind them. There's a service map in the toolbox. County issue, laminated, dated 1988. It shows one gate at the base of the ridge and one at the tower. There's a third one, unmapped, about 60 yards past the grate, chained shut with a padlock that doesn't match the county's brand. I found it my third year, following boot prints through coal dust that still coats that hillside like ash. The prints went one direction only, down. None came back up. Not in that dust, not anywhere. And coal dust holds a print for years if the weather stays dry, which it mostly does up there. I asked Denny about the third gate on record. He told me there is no third gate, and hung up before I could describe it. I went back the following week to photograph it for the file. The padlock was gone. The chain was looped through the fence, like nothing had ever been locked there at all. 2 Tuesdays ago, it rang 9 times. 9 is the number the county lists as current residents of Kettle Hollow, myself included, and you're not on that list yet. Your paperwork hasn't cleared the courthouse. Sit with that a second, the way I had to. 9, before you'd even signed your contract. I called Denny, who confirmed the number matched the last billing cycle, then asked, not unkindly, if I'd been sleeping enough. I have a theory I haven't written down anywhere else. I think the Siren isn't warning anyone anymore. I think it's a tally, the way Presley's predecessor treated it. And I think whoever built the second rig back in '32 built it to keep counting long after the reason stopped mattering to anybody but the mountain. I don't think it cares whether you believe that. I think it only cares whether the number is accurate. Last night, it rang 10 times. That's one more than 2 Tuesdays ago, and your contract cleared the courthouse yesterday morning. I'm not going to pretend that's nothing, and I'd rather you not either. I've packed my truck. I'm not going to Charleston. I'm going up to the grate tonight before the next Tuesday, because I want to see whose number I might be leaving behind, and because 6 years of counting other people's disappearances without checking has started to feel like its own kind of cowardice. If you're reading this and I haven't called by Thursday, do not go looking for me on the hillside. Check the logbook instead. Write down whatever number it gives you next, exactly, to the minute, the way you were taught. That's the job now. It was always the job. Subscribe if you want to know what I find when I open that grate.